What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we have a recurring guest on the show. So welcome back to Clément Hynaux. How's it going?
Thanks, John. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, I mean, you were so generous with your insights last time, and we got a lot of positive feedback. So I just thought, you know what? Let's bring Clément back. Let's bring up a new topic, and I'm sure you will bring your A game as you always do. So yeah, really appreciate you being here.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, well, I'm always glad to chat with you, and it's fun. And if we can, give some value back, then yeah, happy to do it.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched the last episode, it's in our YouTube videos. It's kind of earlier on, but if you sort by most popular, you'll find Clément pretty quickly. It did just get a lot of really good results. But just from the background of everybody else, Clément has been doing Amazon PPC for 8 years and maybe even longer. And he is currently the team lead or manager or important person at AdBadger who deals with services. Is that a fair background on you?
That's great. Thank you. Yeah. You know how I remember how long I've been doing that is that I did that I switched job when I knew my wife got pregnant with our first daughter because I was traveling a lot. And then I say, I need to find something else. And she turned 8. So I've been doing that for 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah, last time we talked, your daughter must have not turned 9 yet. So congratulations.
She turned 8, yes. So that's been 9.
Or
So
turned
yeah,
8,
she
sorry,
might not. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, very exciting. Okay, so let's get into this. I think today we should talk about Amazon Marketing Cloud and specifically how to get started, because there's a lot of hype out there and there's a lot of people talking about all the amazing things you can do and all the really, really advanced stuff you can do. But no one's really talking about just how to get started. And
Yeah.
I think that might actually be really helpful because in my experience, getting started was way harder than running something more advanced. And I'm sure that you may have a similar experience. But I'd love to hear your opinion on what's the best way to get started with AMC.
Yeah. Before answering that, I just want to go a step back because that's actually a good time to bring that back up. People might think it's old news, but before that, you need to get a seat with a provider. So luckily at AdBadger, we are a provider. I believe we got your accounts set up with AMC. Yeah, so that was you had a barrier to entry that probably slowed down the adoptions of everyone else. And at the beginning, you had to run audiences on your own. It was really rough. And you've seen the editor. It's not really intuitive. But now Amazon released 3 audiences that they built for you. And even if you don't have a seat with AMC, you should have access to that. So it's in the bid adjustment. It's like a placement, but it goes on top of the placement that you might already have. Like if you have a bid adjustment on top of search, you could put an AMC bid adjustment and they will compound. So you need to be careful with that. That's a big range that could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the first thing you want to be aware of.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big insight. The fact that your audiences and your placement modifiers do compound. They're not one or the other. It's one and then the other.
Right.
100% on top of search and then 100% for an audience is you're taking 100% multiply for top of search, and then you're multiplying whatever that new max was also by 100%. So.
Correct. Yeah. It can stack up, but you need to think of it as one thing. So you have your placements and then you have your audience and you can bid more on that audience, and on that audience, you can bid more on that top of search for those guys only. So actually I actually like that, but you can be surprised with high CPCs in case you're wondering if you end up with, $7, $8, $9 CPCs. Well, maybe because you have a couple of adjustments going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it absolutely can be high CPCs. So I think let's stop here and let's talk quickly about what an AMC audience is, just so we can define it for everyone. And then let's quickly talk about what each of them are. Because I think if someone's listening to this and just getting started, I want to make sure we really kind of get them the interesting stuff first, or the basics first.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to talk about, the one that Amazon is building for you. So that speaks to
Mhm.
the most people. When you're going to sponsored product, you have the option to put a bid adjustment on 3 audiences. Okay. So you have purchased brand products. You have high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activities. So that's a mouthful, but that's a
Mm.
very descriptive title. And you have
Mhm.
clicked or added brands product to cart. Okay, so let's unpack those a little bit, right?
Well, hold on.
So,
What is an audience?
okay, an
More basic.
audience, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
segment of the visitors on Amazon that
Yes.
have a series of characteristics that matches your audience, what you want them to be in. Okay, so
Mhm.
if, the first one is quite easy to understand. You have, they purchased from your brand, but what Amazon doesn't tell you or doesn't let you change with the pre-built audiences is the look back window. So that's the limitation of
Mm.
it. But,
Yeah.
so the first one, and that will answer also the definition of the audiences, it's people that purchase your brand's product in the last 3 months. And that would be that segment, which would be the audience. And you can retarget those
Mhm.
people with a higher,
Yeah. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. Just quickly talking about people who purchased the brand's products in the past 3 months, who, like, if I were listening to this and I was thinking about getting started, what would be a good case to use that for?
right. So you might think about, supplements. That would be a good one.
Hmm.
But you don't have the granularity of targeting them once they are close to running out, which would be the best time. You can do
Mm.
that in your own AMC audience that you can build if you have a sit, and then you can exclude the people that bought. Let's say you have a bottle of supplement that lasts you for 30 days. Then
Hmm.
people that purchase that product, you would retarget them after 25 days up
Hmm.
to 50 days. So, they still need to be a hot audience. That's a good hot audience. Now you don't have that option with the already built audiences for you. It's just 3 months. They could have
Yeah.
bought yesterday, or they could have bought 2.5 months ago.
Exactly. But what's nice about this is you can do this without any experience. Like, you can just
Exactly.
try
Yes.
and see if this potentially is an audience that might work for you. And
Correct.
that, I
Yes.
think, is the great part about getting started is if you set a small budget and you set low bids and a low audience adjustment to start, you can really start to see if this kind of audience might perform for you.
Right. And, I gave you that example, but you can have some cross sells. Let's say that people
Hmm.
buy, again, a supplement A and you're advertising and they might buy supplement B. And because they already trusted you with one purchase, they might be more likely to buy a second one. Again, if you want to really refine things, you could do that specific audience in your AMC builder that
Hmm.
people that bought that product, you want to retarget them on other products. That would be fantastic. But we talked about that offline. You need to have a certain amount of traffic for the audience to work. Like at the beginning, I was always getting very targeting and Amazon wouldn't let me build these audiences.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Is like there are a lot of different ways you could take advantage of something like this. But again, for somebody who is just trying to get started, they don't know how to write SQL, they don't understand the AMC like platform when they go into it, or they don't even have a seat. This is a great way just to see, could my brand benefit from audiences similar to this?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like putting up an auto campaign for a product and being like, could this product start to sell if we send more traffic to it? And,
Yeah,
you'll get some data fairly quickly. You may not get amazing ACOS or return on ad spend from running this audience, but you might be surprised and you also might learn something while you do it.
exactly. Yeah. If anything, you'll gather data and you can take actions based on that.
Yeah. So let's go on to the second one, the second audience that somebody could use from the pre-built Amazon Marketing Cloud.
Okay, so this is my favorite one. This is the one that whenever I build an audience, right from the start, I add a 5% bid adjustment. And I'll tell you why. 5% is very small, but it's just so I can start gathering data and separated the audience, because it's not like in the top of search, rest of search, and product pages where you will appear there. And even if you don't have a bid adjustment, you can still see if you're performing better on one of the placement. With the audiences, if you don't have a bid adjustment, you don't know if the audience is performing. So because this one historically, from my experience, has performed very well, I want to gather data, if anything. So I start with the 5%. And the audience is high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activities. It's very opaque. Like they don't tell us a lot. I'm going to read you the definition that Amazon gives us. They say that the audience includes people whose recent purchase interactions indicate a high likelihood to purchase the advertised product. Okay, so there's some magic behind it. But yeah, it's just a matter of testing.
It's almost a circular definition. It's almost like, like highly likely to buy this product because they're highly likely.
Yeah.
Like I sound like Dr. Evil. But yeah, it's this is really, really funny that it's such a bland definition. Out of curiosity, can you run this? Can you see what the query is for this audience if you go into AMC?
The pre-built audience, I didn't find them in the AMC query creators. I don't think you can reverse engineer them, but that's an interesting thought. Like, I would like to see what's behind it so I can tweak that and maybe make it better for specific brands.
Yeah.
But
Again,
I can tell you, this is a fast track to AMC and really success in that case. Yeah, well, most of the time.
So you said that this is your favorite one, and this is one that you get a lot of performance out of. I'm going to be honest. I run AMC often, and I have not tested this, generally speaking, because I don't trust Amazon to tell me the truth. But with that said, with the correct exclusions or the correct negative keywords, I would really be interested in running this campaign. The main thing I'd be worried about with this audience is I'd be worried that they're just going to run a ton of branded traffic for you.
Well, that's the thing, right? You could have your targeted keywords, which exclude your branded keywords. And then there's no worries there.
There's no overlap. So if you use this, make sure you're either okay with running or making sales on your own brand name, or alternatively, make sure that you negate your own brand name in phrase match so that this audience can't necessarily take this and run with it.
Well, at any rate, you can gather that from your search term report. So you'll figure it out. You wouldn't see which one triggered it. Like you wouldn't know if the audience really triggered those search terms, but you have the results at the campaign level or at the agro level. So that's good enough, right?
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense and it is highly logical. How do you use this campaign? Do you use it for everything? Or sorry, how do you use this audience? Do you use it for every product in your catalog? Do you use it for your bestsellers only? How do you like to test this?
Okay, so now again, for the new campaigns I created, by default, I will put a 5% bit adjustment just to gather data because like in 80% of the case, it works for me. And I want to see if the new campaign also benefits from that audience. And 5% is not going to change the CPCs a lot, but it will separate the two lines. So I will know if the audience is worth investing in.
Interesting. For a lot of my campaigns, I don't really play with something like this, but this is something that I might steal from you because, Clément, this is a very logical way to use an audience like this. It's really cool.
There is one thing I would say is that I would recommend everyone to have at least one AMC audience bid adjustment running because you can only have one at a time. That's worth mentioning. So at least just to collect the data. Because otherwise you wouldn't know if that works. And we always want to be testing new things. And sometimes I will swap the audience because, well, it doesn't work with every campaign. It doesn't work with every product. So I'll try something else.
That's really interesting. And that's a great tip. That's something that I wouldn't have thought to really throw in there. Okay. So sounds like the best practice for this audience is to use it in new campaigns you create ideally, is there one circumstance over another that you like it more in, or is it just like this is a meta audience that you can just run on everything?
Yeah, the second one, I think that, again, because we don't really understand what's behind it, and, Amazon is hard to trust, but they still want to make money. They still want to make sales. So they
Yeah.
are giving us those tools so we can spend more, so they make more money by selling more to other people. So it's a win-win situation in that case. But your targeting need to be good from the beginning. If you run, I don't know, a loose match up and down, and you put that bid adjustment, don't expect miracles.
Okay, I have something interesting to talk to you about in the next segment, but I want to talk about the third audience first because I think we should take advantage, or we should go through the third audience before we get into practical implementation. So the third audience, what is it?
Yeah, clicked or added brand's product to cart. And then what they don't tell you is that, and didn't buy. Otherwise, I would be useless. But again, it's 3 months. That's a big window. If you have small priced product or low priced product, I don't think people are going to think about that for 3 months. They're probably moved on. Like, you're buying a mug, you add it to cart, well, you bought the other one, and you don't care if you see that the ad for the mug again. For pricey items, that might be interesting. This is not something I'm testing a whole lot, just because I don't think that's going to really move the needle. But again, if you have expensive item, maybe that's worth it.
So I actually have seen this work. I've seen this work for supplements, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there was one client who I brought on who just didn't have any AMC data, and it took a while for me to get the AMC instance. And so we ran this to test, and I was blown away that it produced good results pretty quickly. So I have seen this audience work. I obviously prefer making a similar audience to this myself because I like to be able to control the click window or test different click windows. But I've seen this one work for low price products as well as high price products.
So maybe when you have hesitation, and supplement might be that because that's something you put in your body, maybe that would make sense also to run that again for something basics. It's just a matter of testing. I don't mind testing and be proven wrong by data.
Yeah. No, I didn't expect it to work. I just wanted to have an AMC campaign for the client because they really seemed excited about it. And the purchase brand product didn't seem exciting to them at the time. So we kind of chose to do this one instead. And yeah, it was shocking to see this because I think what a lot of people don't really think about due to the definition of this is if somebody clicked this product and didn't buy, or added the product to cart but then didn't buy, this is more of a traditional retargeting campaign that has been available on every other ad platform since 2011, except Amazon. What I think is really nice about this is this targeting style basically tells you, hey, if you want to, you can follow people who didn't buy but exhibited signs that they might have purchased around the Amazon platform. And I think that's really where the most exciting opportunities come from.
Okay, so I can see it being useful when you have that kind of funnel that you're building, and then it works with other campaigns where they might have seen another of your ads, and because they've seen another of your ads and clicked and whatever, then you have that campaign ready to ambush them, or just plant another flag in their heads. And when you use that more complex journey, and we have that, the customer journey, we have that data as well, where we know how they came to buying the product. They clicked on that ad and then they see that and then they end up buying it. So yeah, that could be why it worked with your client, the supplement.
Yeah. Well, this audience works consistently. Because, and usually what we end up doing is we end up segmenting click but did not buy and added to cart but did not buy.
Right.
And traditionally added to cart but did not buy has a much better return. And so, I'm just specifically thinking of this one scenario where added to cart, or we tested this audience because we couldn't test the other audience, like the more segmented version of it. And we saw great results, which is really, really great to see. So
yeah,
something
and that
cool
makes sense because they were further down the funnel than there are hotter audience. And, you can
Mhm.
really add a brand tailored promotion on top of that with those offering them a discount when they add to
Mhm.
cart and didn't buy. And I think that when you have those two, you're golden.
Yeah. I mean, that is something really, really powerful that is important to bring up. Brand tailored promotions can be used in conjunction with these, ideally to offer discounts to the same audiences. So if
Hmm.
you find a brand tailored promotion that you think or that has historically worked well, you can also advertise to that same group of people or even a lookalike version of those people and push this brand tailored promotion much further. Now,
Yeah.
again, that's not a individual thing or a beginner thing. So that's just an exciting thing you can do down the road. But just start
Hmm.
testing this, guys.
Yeah.
This is really, really powerful stuff. And it's stuff that your competition probably is not yet doing.
Mm.
And so that kind of brings me to the next part that I wanted to talk about. And this is a little bit of an ambush because I didn't tell you before. So I'm actually going to go first. So
Okay.
what I want to do here is kind of like cards on the table. We both run a lot of advertising campaigns. My primary tactic with Amazon Marketing Cloud is auto catch-all campaigns with every product from the brand in that catch-all campaign. And then, so I put everything in there, no negatives, including no branded negatives. And then incredibly low bids. I'm talking 7 to 21 cent bids. And then I start with a 900% audience adjustment and I wait 5 days to see what the cost per clicks will be in order to get cost per clicks at each placement. And then after that, we adjust the AMC audience and then increase the placement adjustments for rest of search and top of search in order to get more spend at the placements we want. And so that's our primary approach. And the reason we do that is because instead of paying $15 a click for an exact match of a keyword that we know works, we found that you can get that same click for $7 at scale. And on top of that, you're going to get a lot more additional conversion because what you're going to end up finding is a lot of the sales that happen on these products are on really random search terms that you wouldn't have thought of. So what we realized is Amazon's not sharing all their data with us. And the only way that you can kind of backwards rationalize that data is by looking at the search term report later. What we end up doing is we isolate all of the spend to go to the audience so that we're not spending any money on non-audience. And then we spend as much money as we possibly can on that audience in the different placements. So product pages, top or rest of search, top of search. And so that's our approach. And it's actually been quite effective and has been something where you don't necessarily end up feeling like you're wasting a lot of money because you're getting cost per clicks that are affordable relative to the rest of your cost per clicks. So that's our primary way of using it. And I want to be clear that Clément has changed my mind and I'm going to start testing the high likelihood to purchase audience. And we're not currently running that. But again, this has only been out for sponsored products it's been less than a year. So everyone's still
Yeah.
learning. If you're listening to this and thinking, I'm really far behind, you're maybe 9 months. You're a baby away. Clément, I would love to hear your approach because this is like, I haven't shared this publicly, I don't think. I would love to hear anything you're comfortable sharing about like, how do you get started with AMC?
Sure. But can I cook you a little bit on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I got some questions for you. Because that's an interesting way. Like do you know what it makes me think about is PMAX campaign for Google Ads. Like you don't really know what's happening, but somehow the algorithm is smart enough to figure things out. And like I have these kind of campaigns. I don't put a 900% bid adjustment on audiences. So I still gain some placements outside of that. I have low bids on that. But it's a small portion. It's like
Mhm.
increment on sales, really like less than 1% of the total ad spend. My question to you is, do you group products by any buckets or just you put the whole catalog of
So traditionally, we'll only group or ungroup if there's a gigantic either conversion difference or not CPC, conversion difference or price difference. So
Mhm.
we have a couple accounts I'm thinking of where there are some products that are $9 and there are some products that are $99. We
Mhm.
will break those apart. However, we'll break those apart in some, but not all circumstances. This is going to sound crazy, but we've actually found that kind of giving Amazon everything at once and then just letting their algorithm decide has been shockingly effective. So we don't end up paying the same CPC for a search term for something that costs $9 that we would for something that costs $99. Even the catch-all campaign is, because it's, a low campaign or a low bid campaign by design, it just seems to work.
Yeah. So I've seen that in some of my campaigns of that type but me, I'm segregating product based on likeliness. Because like that, it's easier for me to either harvest a search term from that campaign because I know the packet of products it goes for. And then if I see more than one order, because sometimes one order is not enough just to, it could be a curiosity order. But after you get a couple of them, then, and especially at the high CVR, then you know that it's relevant and then you can retarget it or target it on a more manual way to better control your bid. But I found out that, I have some products that have different colors and I know that it matches the colors with the right product, which, this is, I'm convinced of. Like when people are typing in a red mug and I have 12 variations of different colors, it will show the red one. And this is great. Like I don't have to be targeting because, you don't, when people are looking for something very specific, you want to show them the best variation, right? You don't want to show them a blue mug if they want to buy a red one. And these campaigns is really helpful for that.
Of course. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, obviously I appreciate Amazon's advertising algorithm has gotten better. Just a quick side comment on that. I've actually really decreased the number of negative keywords I use in my campaigns. And full transparency, I'm an AdBadger customer. I have been since 2021. And so, I use the AdBadger nightly negative keyword hunt, and I have since then because I find that it automates good behavior and it's easier for somebody to go back and check its behavior once a week than pretty much anything else. But really the reason why I specifically chose this strategy is because I thought it was going to be the way for us to most cheaply isolate all of our spend on the audience. So if you think about it, in order to get a cost per click that only goes to that audience, you're going to, depending on your match type, you're going to have a wide variance in what it's going to be. But further to that point, it's actually going to be very, very challenging to set a bid and an adjustment in a way where you're going to be able to consistently just get spend on that audience because keywords have these wild fluctuations. And so we thought, okay, well, that there is wild fluctuations. So like, what are we going to do? I mean, we could have 100 AMC campaigns and then just, for each parent ASIN or something. But then we thought, okay, well, that also might not reflect the way that a shopper actually shops on Amazon. Like, I don't know if you guys, I guess you're Amazon.es because although you're French, you live in Spain.
Yes.
But yeah, I watch my wife shop on Amazon.com and I am blown away every single time at the insane tangents she ends up going on. And so every time I watch that, I think to myself, I'm not that smart. I'm not smart enough to predict what large swaths of people are going to do. And so that's really what led me to using this automatic campaign strategy. It's like, we're going to get as cheap of clicks as we can for as wide of a net as we can. And we're going to isolate for the audience. And then the search term report can come back and tell us what we needed to do differently. But what we end up finding is it's all the same keywords as before. But instead of getting a top of search click on the keyword vitamin C for $10 and then $20 if we did it exact match with AMC, we're getting it for $10 in exact and 14 using the AMC audience targeting, but we're getting it at scale. So it's like, who cares? Let's just keep doing the cheap thing.
And I had a second question that I didn't forget. Importantly, which audience are you using?
Okay, so we try different ones all the time. The one that has had the best consistent performance is a variation of the last one that we talked about. So added to cart, but did not purchase. But we traditionally have seen better performance on last 30 days instead of last 90, which is what the out of the box AMC one we talked about was.
Yeah.
That has been really powerful and useful.
Okay. So I believe if you're working with supplements, and there's something I tested, and again, those are custom audiences and that might not be available to everyone, but I would suggest that you create a lookalike audience on subscribes and save, which,
Hmm.
can boost your SNS account, which is where the money
Hmm.
lies in supplements. So you can have a high cost of acquisition, but you don't really care because you are acquiring customers that are going to stay.
Yep. Yeah. So that is something we are testing. We're not, given the time of year, this is kind of like the worst time of year to sell a supplement. And so, we've been focused more on for the supplement companies we work with, been focused more on the non-advertising side of things. Like, how do we make sure we're set up for deals? How do we make sure we've got the right amount of inventory?
Yeah,
What are we
cleaning
doing
a
for
house,
keyword ranking? Pardon me?
cleaning
Yeah.
a house.
Yeah. But I do think that AMC is one of those things that I am a big believer that it is fantastic incremental traffic that you want to add to your campaigns. And it's something that with Amazon ads, you can't set and forget, but you
Yeah.
can set and make small tweaks on a much smaller or on a much longer time horizon. Because once you find out what your bids need to be and what your placements need to be, then all you're really doing is making minor tweaks to those placements in order to find a drive or in order to either drive up or drive down spend.
Yeah. And then if you've been doing that long enough, you see patterns in seasons and you can anticipate them.
Yeah. So in August, I think the people who are, which is the time of this recording. I mean, this is actually probably going to go out pretty quick after we record it, but it's August 15th. And depending on where you are, either you're starting back to school shopping or you just finished back to school shopping. Here in California, kids are already back at school and they've been there all week. It's crazy.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Spain,
Yeah.
they don't go back until, I don't know, the 6th of September, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to enjoy
Well,
summer a little more.
you know what? I'm happy for them. In
Yeah.
Canada, it's usually either the very last week of August or the first week of September.
Yeah. That's
From
good.
my experience, it might have changed. I'm not in
Yeah.
school anymore. But yeah, the general thing that is kind of hard this time of year is nobody is really focused on buying much except pencils and paper
Yeah.
and
And swimsuits,
planners.
maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like all that shopping happens, at least in the United States, at the beginning of the year, not the end of the year.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this
You're
is like
right.
the clearance time. Okay, so I would love to jump over to what you guys like to do. Like, how do you like to get started with AMC audiences?
Okay, so as I mentioned, I start the high likelihood of purchasing audience on a 5% bid adjustment. Then, because you shared something very valuable, I'm going to also share a little bit of secret sauce that I think would be helpful for you. And a great combo with that is you create you're retargeting your own ASIN. You're creating a single product targeting ASIN on your own ASIN in addition to that audience speed adjustment. And you're going to get some good surprises with really high conversion. You're going to see some keywords that are super relevant because you're still going to get keywords out of your ASIN targeting because, again, that's just one ASIN. And you're in your advertising that same product on it. It's a little bit counterintuitive because you're kind of tricking the system into retargeting your own ads and your own product. But I have great results with that. And again, I'm seeing like hyper relevant traffic and very low ACoS.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about this because that is one, never thought to do it. Two, very interesting. And three, I want to make sure that if somebody were to hear this, that they would actually understand how to do this.
Okay.
So if we were first, again, to take this from like the beginner's lens, which of the three audiences we talked about is the closest to this?
Yeah, the second point, the high likelihood to purchase based on...
Okay, so it is that one. It's that one.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then the next thing I want to just quickly clarify, because again, this is really cool. Thank you for being so this is really awesome. For anyone who's listening to this and they're like, I'm not sure I understand, Clément just dropped a bomb that probably nobody else is running right now. Okay, so you run a campaign, and so say it's for your vitamin C ASIN, and it's the parent ASIN and the child ASIN are the same. So there's only one ASIN on the page. So you create an ad and the ad is for that product.
Yes, you're
But then when you
targeting.
scroll down, yeah. So you scroll down in the campaign manager and you decide to also target that same product, vitamin
Yes.
C. So you're advertising on your vitamin, or you're advertising the product, your vitamin C, and then you're targeting your vitamin C. So you're
Yes.
just targeting yourself.
Yes. Same ASIN, just single ASIN on the ad you're targeting. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then the next step, sorry, go ahead.
No. Just finish. The next step is just to add the bid adjustment on the audience.
And no placement adjustments, just the audience adjustment.
Right. Yeah. And start gathering data, and then you can play around with bid adjustment. I find out that it's a good tactic because, best practice is that you run defense campaign on your own ASINs, right? So just to occupy the space, move competitors around. And then I found out that I had pretty good results on the hero ASIN. And when I digged into the search term report, I found some interesting keywords that, I was targeting on manual campaigns, but CPCs were either cheaper or conversion was higher. And I tried this one out. And this I've been running for more than a year for sure. And it's just when you have your ad coverage, you probably have this kind of table where you have a product and which ad I'm running on. This one should always be ticked off on major products. If you have maybe a minor product, and by minor I mean doesn't get a lot of traffic, not a lot of sales, maybe that will not work. Like, I'm not testing that on those because I want a product that has strong legs and good purchase history, so the algorithm knows how to deal with it.
So, and again, I'm asking this out of genuine curiosity, but are you worried that you are cannibalizing your organic sales by running this campaign?
Okay, so this is a big debate in the space. And cannibalization, you can see it as, spending money to get a sale that you would have won anyway, which I'm not sure about because the first 4 placements are sponsored placements. So, maybe we should ask your wife how she's shopping, but I'm pretty sure she's clicking on ads. And especially on mobile, you have to scroll down to see the organic placements. And if I'm there on the first 4 placements and then I add my organics placements, I'm convinced that there is a psychology effect where people see me everywhere. And if I have the headline searches and then I have a sponsored brand video below, I'm there 4 times in just one view. I'm convinced that because it's everywhere, they are more likely to click on any placement, any spot. So at the end of the day, it's all a matter of balance and tacos and profitability. So I wouldn't relinquish that because if I'm not advertising there, somebody else will. And the organic placements is a combination of conversion, traffic, and sales velocity. If I don't maintain that sales velocity, I'm probably going to lose my organic placement now. I know there are some people that automate that and they will pause the ad and then run the ads back again after a certain threshold, and it seems to have pretty good results. But if they sell fewer units at the same margin, maybe they are not making the same profit. So I'm willing to spend a little more, sell more, but have lower margin, but have higher profit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think this is very interesting. And this is definitely, if someone is listening to this, this is a really interesting campaign that you can run without knowing AMC. And ideally with you could just test this and potentially get a really advanced tactic going in your account without even really knowing what's happening. And then you can tweak this to get better results over time. My mind is blown. That is super cool. And I've never heard of this. Do you guys have a name for this? Is this like AMC defense, or what do you even call this?
SPT, piggyback campaign, you're piggybacking on your own ASIN, and SPT for second product targeting. You can coin that whatever you want. I'm using piggyback because that's something I'm doing also on. It's going we're going in every direction today. But when I launch a product and I can't afford the major keywords, I will retarget the ASIN that are advertising for that product, and I will get ranking juice. out of those search terms just because, you know, Amazon follows up the history. So that's why I'm piggybacking over the people that are paying the big bucks until, you know, you get some traction. So yeah, that comes from that.
I mean, I'm really impressed. I've never thought to do that, but that is super cool. Out of curiosity, will you run a similar product targeting campaign, but going after the top 5 ASINs? Or yeah, you'll do the same thing with the same AMC audience.
Yes, I'm going after the top 8. So first 4 sponsored and first 4 organic.
Interesting. You're going after like the top 4. Is there an easy way to get that? Is there an easy way to get like the advertised number 1, like sponsored rank number 1 through 8?
Yeah, you probably have some extensions yourself. Everyone is using either Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, and you know they do that. Like you can extract the ASIN from that page, and then you can copy them. Now the sponsored product ASINs, they will change, but it doesn't really matter. Like I'm getting them at a specific time, and I assume they're going to be there often.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was just wondering if like because you know how Helium 10 will give you sponsored rank number 1, sponsored rank number 2. Like they'll actually, if you do a Cerebro reverse ASIN, it tells you what sponsored rank you are. I was wondering if there's an easy way to get the sponsored rank 1 through 8 on a keyword. There probably isn't.
I do a manual search and then I pull that up. I'm not doing that for, you know, that's kind of an extra ranking campaign because again, you're getting ranking juice at cheaper CPCs because you are targeting products. And it's not as powerful as getting a sales directly from that search term. Okay, so, but it's a good incremental strategy. But yeah, I'm not doing that for all keywords. Like it's just the major ones with high search volume that are expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I actually feel like my head is spinning with ideas right now. And the thing that's the most infuriating is like, they're all beginner ideas that I could have run. So Clément, like, if nobody watches this, I got huge value out of this, you know? So dude, this is so cool.
So did I. We should have more chats together.
Yeah, please. This is awesome. Well, look, Clément, as we're wrapping up, where can people find you?
Yeah, people can find me on LinkedIn. Just look for my name. I'm there. I'm just trying to add value, but I don't spend most of my time there. Unfortunately, I'm within campaigns or talking to clients or within core where I have the pleasure of seeing you there.
Yeah, exactly. Clément and I are in the same networking group called Core, C-O-R-E. You can reach out to either of us if you are interested in learning more. I don't like no QR code or anything. It's just the call I look forward to most every single week. So yeah, like would love to have anyone who loves Amazon ads in there. So yeah, Clément, unless there's anything else, it's ClementHynaux if you're looking for him on LinkedIn. He's got a ton of value posts. So thanks everyone for being here. And until next time.